going on, guys? This is DropThisBox, and I hope all of you guys out there are having a fantastic day today. And today we're going to be talking about Spider-Man Far From Home. And I actually had a lot of fun watching this movie. I still remember the day when I went to the movie theaters and I saw the movie with my girlfriend, and the both of us had a very fun time. And within this video itself, I just want to go over exactly what stood out to me that made this an enjoyable film. And I'm also almost done covering the Spider-Man live action movies, because the last one we're going to be talking about after this is Spider-Man No Way Home, which I am super excited to talk about that one. And then of course I'll make videos talking about the Spider-Verse movies too. But yeah, let's jump into the Far From Home discussion, because I have a couple things that I want to say about this movie that I would love to share with you guys. So one of the things I really enjoyed about Spider-Man Far From Home was how it explored Peter Parker's emotional state after the events of Avengers Endgame. Losing Tony Stark hit him hard, and it was clear from the beginning that he was struggling with the idea of stepping up as a hero in a world without Iron Man. That emotional weight added a new layer to Peter's character that we didn't see before. He wasn't just dealing with typical teenage problems anymore, he was carrying the burden of being seen as a potential successor to one of the greatest heroes of all time. But what I liked about this aspect was that the movie didn't just make it about grief, it was also about responsibility. Peter was torn between wanting to be a normal teenager and feeling the pressure of being a hero. That eternal conflict made his character even more relatable, because at the end of the day, he's still just a kid trying to figure out his place in the world. The way he tried to escape those expectations by focusing on his school trip and his crush on MJ felt so real. It made the stakes even higher when things inevitably started to spiral out of control. Another thing that stood out was how the film balanced Peter's personal struggles with his heroism. He was clearly hesitant about stepping into Iron Man's shoes, but when push came to shove, he proved that he was more than capable. His growth throughout the movie, from someone running from responsibility to someone embracing it, was one of my favorite parts. The moment he built his new suit with Happy's help really cemented that transition. It felt like he wasn't just trying to be the next Iron Man anymore, he was fully embracing being Spider-Man. And by the end of the movie, it was clear that Peter had grown a lot. He went from dodging Nick Fury's calls and hesitating to take action to outsmarting Mysterio and fully accepting his role as a hero. That evolution made Far From Home such a satisfying watch, because it felt like Peter truly earned his place in the MCU. Not as Iron Man's replacement, but a hero of his own. And one of the biggest reasons I enjoyed Spider-Man Far From Home was because of Mysterio. I'll admit, when I first saw the trailers, I was a little skeptical about how they would handle him. Once the movie revealed his true intentions, I was completely hooked. Jake Gyllenhaal absolutely nailed the role, making Mysterio feel both charismatic and unsettling. He wasn't just another villain trying to take over the world, he was someone who knew exactly how to manipulate Peter, and that made him dangerous. What I loved about Mysterio was how he played into Peter's vulnerabilities. He came off as a mentor figure, someone who understood the pressures Peter was dealing with, and because Peter was looking for guidance after Tony's death, he was quick to trust him. And that betrayal hit hard, not just for Peter, but for the audience too. That way Mysterio used illusions to create entire battles was something we'd never really seen in a Spider-Man movie before. It made the action feel fresh and unpredictable. One of my favorite scenes in the movie is the nightmare sequence where Mysterio traps Peter in a mind-bending illusion. Everything about that scene was incredible. The way reality kept shifting, how Peter kept getting tricked, and the chilling moment when zombie Iron Man appeared. It was such a creative and visually stunning way to showcase Mysterio's powers. That whole sequence felt like something ripped straight out of a comic book, and I loved every second of it. Mysterio proved himself to be one of Spider-Man's most memorable villains. Not only did he nearly beat Peter, but his final trick revealing Spider-Man's identity to the world had some of the biggest consequences we've ever seen in an MCU movie. Even in defeat, he managed to leave a lasting impact on Peter's life, and that's what made him such a great villain. Another thing that made Spider-Man Far From Home so enjoyable was its unique setting. Most Spider-Man movies are set in New York, so seeing Peter and his friends traveling across Europe was a refreshing change of pace. From Venice to Prague to London gave the movie a different kind of energy. It almost felt like an adventure film at times, which made the action sequences stand out even more. One of the best things about this setting was how it affected Peter's ability to be Spider-Man. In New York, he's used to swinging between buildings, but in places like Venice, that just wasn't an option. That forced him to adapt in ways we really haven't seen before. The water-based battle in Venice was a great example. Peter had to rely on quick thinking instead of his usual web-slinging tricks. Made the action scenes feel fresh and creative. Beyond the action, the European setting also added to the humor and charm of the movie. Watching Peter and his friends deal with awkward hotel situations, language barriers, and cultural differences was a lot of fun. The dynamic between all of the characters made the trip feel authentic, and it gave the movie a lighthearted feel even when the stakes were high. Plus, seeing Peter try to navigate his feelings for MJ in such a romantic setting added another layer to the relationship. The final battle in London was the perfect way to cap off the European adventure. The way Peter had to take down the drones while being completely outmatched made for a thrilling climax. It showed how much he had grown over the course of the trip. By the time he finally defeated Mysterio, it truly felt like Peter had stepped up as a hero. The change in setting wasn't just a fun gimmick, it played a big role in shaping Peter's journey. And one of the things I've always loved about the MCU Spider-Man movies is how well they balance action and humor, and Far From Home was no exception. The action scenes were intense, but the movie never forgot to have fun along the way. Whether it was Peter dealing with school trip mishaps or awkwardly dodging Nick Fury, there were plenty of moments that made me laugh, and that balance made the movie such an enjoyable experience from start to finish. The communist movie felt natural because it came from the characters and their personalities. Ned's romance with Betty was hilarious because of how over the top it was, and Peter's awkward interactions with MJ were so relatable. Even small moments like Happy trying to impress Peter's classmates or Flash unknowingly idolizing Spider-Man while insulting Peter added to the fun. None of the jokes felt forced. They all fit the tone of the movie. And at the same time, when the movie needed to be serious, it knew how to shift gears. The action scenes, especially the ones involving Mysterio, had real stakes. And even in the middle of all the fun, Peter's emotional struggles never got lost. That's what made the movie so great. It knew when to make the audience laugh and when to make them sit on the edge of their seats. By the time the movie ended, it felt like it had been an emotional roller coaster, but in the best way possible. The mix of humor, action, heartfelt moments made Far From Home such a well-rounded and entertaining movie. It had everything I love about Spider-Man, and that's why I enjoyed it so much. So it was really fun to talk about Spider-Man Far From Home within this video because I had a lot of fun when I was watching this, and probably, like you guys can clearly tell as I was talking throughout this video, one of my favorite parts of this film was definitely the character progression with Peter. Looking where he came from post Endgame and just seeing how he developed as a character throughout the film, that really won me over, and I've always been a really big fan of character development, and that's something that definitely stood out about this movie, especially with how the movie ended, like I discussed when Mysterio revealed his identity, which definitely changed Peter forever. And we're going to be talking about that in Spider-Man No Way Home, which, like I alluded to in the beginning of the video, I am super pumped to talk about that one. Other than that, that is all I have to say about Far From Home. So I'm curious to hear how you guys feel about this. Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Be sure to let me know all your thoughts about this film in the comment section down below. And if you guys enjoyed this video, as always, be sure to like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Be sure to follow me on my social media when it comes to my X, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. All the links to those are located in the description below. Be sure to click on that bell for notifications so you guys are notified whenever I'm dropping a video on the channel. But other than that, I hope all of you guys are having a fantastic day, wherever the day may be, if it's the daytime, the nighttime, or the evening. And I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, peace out.